Okay, guys, this one's a little bit different. I'm currently working away from home. We're actually sharing the screen on this one. This is obviously my front-facing camera, so this is the view from the office as of today. So yeah, anyway, let's jump into the chart. The longs and shorts of this particular one is what I'm actually looking at right now is Bitcoin and the descending channel as a whole. But what I'm finding quite interesting is the price is obviously underneath the 50% marker for quite some time. Now, although we've actually got an oversold situation going on in terms of stochastic, I don't feel there's much impulsiveness. I think this grayscale unlocking is something that has kind of, I suppose, scared many people who are not quite understanding what this is. I've just read an interesting article on this one by Crypto Potato. Um, so I think the thing is, there's actually a lot of sentiment analysis, and I think again from people who know what they're looking for, and people that really haven't got a clue. And I think the majority of the people out there are kind of going. I hear about Grayscale. I understand that there's some kind of unlocking, but that's as far as my knowledge kind of goes. And I think that really is what's driving, the fear as a whole. So I noticed obviously this, where was it to a bit further down? So this fear and greed indicator. Personally, I'm not into all of this. I'd like to analyze the charts. A lot of this info is actually in the price action. So, if you like it and you're monitoring, fine. But I think, for me, the whole point of showing this in this particular stream is just look, we've got extreme fear, which is kind of common sense, really. We've got this grayscale unlocking, which is obviously driving the fear. Now, for me, it's bearish until it's not, and I think really that's the longs and shorts of it. So I don't really want to get into too much in terms of the bigger picture, but I think for me this is still pretty much playing out in the bearish fashion. I think there's liquidity sitting over. I can't remember where we were. We were obviously over a little bit. Obviously on the way down. I'll have to get the exact number when this loads back up. Here we go. So I think for me, there's liquidity sitting around, 27 and a half. I'd like to see it dip down underneath that kind of level to pick up that liquidity before moving long. But there's no reason that this can't be a very slow, drawn out process for the next couple of weeks, if not a couple of months. I've recently posted some information on the Weiss wave and the weekly Weiss wave being obviously 1, 2, 3, currently in the 4. We have to look, if you go back to one of the last streams, you'll see that the wave 0 to 1 was roughly 6 months. The wave 1 to 2 was roughly 6 months. You've got 12 months just over of wave 2 to 3. And ultimately, wave 3 to 4 is more often than not the longest wave of them all. So if this lasts, another 6 months, it'd be no real surprise. I think the fact that the sentiment, the fear, it's something that is actually driving the retail as a whole. And obviously, the more people jump out of this, the more the big boys can actually accumulate into their bigger position. So I've recently done obviously a couple of streams. So I have to go back. I think it was around the 5th of June actually, where I was talking about Ethereum, and it might have been this altcoin one. It's actually public on YouTube. So if you just go into my channel, you'll see some of the streams. Um, Obviously, when I put it all together, put the pieces together, you can actually see the reason that Composite Man is playing this game is that he's dragging the process out. The concept is using the news and using the tools to distill fear long enough for people to kind of give up hope. And realistically, when the sales come in, these guys are actually picking it up, bargain prices. So you've got obviously the micro strategy and some of the other funds as a whole now playing. So the institutional money is apparent, it's clear, but these guys are not going to come in and make retail traders rich. So you just need to take a step back. Now, again, similarly on the Ethereum move, I drew this channel back, when we were way up here, guys. And again, 5th, 6th of June, like I said, if you go back to that particular stream, I'm sure it was the 5th, you'll see some logic as to why I was putting this channel in. And you can see we've played out exactly, I'd like to see this dip down underneath the 50% marker. I still feel that we're a little bit behind Bitcoin as a whole. So for me, sentiment and bias is still bearish, kind of until we're not. So this one's going to be obviously just a very quick one today. I am away obviously for a couple of days, so yeah, I'm going to leave it like that for now, and more streams obviously on my return. Have a good one.